Unit 7, Lesson 18, Using Common Multiples and Common Factors. Number 1. Mai, Claire, and Noah are making signs to advertise the school dance. It takes Mai 6 minutes to complete a sign. It takes Claire 8 minutes to complete a sign. And it takes Noah 5 minutes to complete a sign. They keep working at the same rate for a half hour. A. Will Mai and Claire complete a sign at the same time? Explain your reasoning. Claire completes a sign every 6 minutes, and the multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and anything after 30 is after a half an hour and it won't count anyway. Claire completes a sign every 8 minutes, and the multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40. The 24th minute, both Mai and Claire will complete a sign at the same time, since 24 is a common multiple for 6 and 8. B. Will Mai and Noah complete a sign at the same time? Explain your reasoning. Mai's multiples are still 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and so on. I mistakenly underlined Noah's name in green. I should have underlined Noah with red. So look at the bottom and you'll see the multiples of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. The least common multiple of 6 minutes and 5 minutes is 30 minutes. And that's right at the deadline since they were only working for a half hour. So the answer would be yes. On the 30th minute, Mai and Noah will complete a sign at the same time. C. Will Claire and Noah complete a sign at the same time? Explain your reasoning. Well, I said no because the least common multiple for Claire and Noah is 40, and 40 minutes is beyond a half hour. D. Will all 3 students complete a sign at the same time? Explain your reasoning. The answer is no, and my reasoning is that if Claire and Noah can't complete a sign at the same time within the half hour, then all of the students cannot complete a sign at the same time within a half hour. Number 2. Diego has 48 chocolate chip cookies, 64 vanilla cookies, and 100 raisin cookies for a bake sale. He wants to make bags that have all 3 cookie flavors and the same number of each flavor per bag. A. How many bags can he make without having any cookies left over? I made a table with the number of bags on the far right-hand column, the number of chocolate chip cookies on the left, the number of vanilla cookies in the middle, and the number of raisin cookies to the right of the vanilla cookies. The information that they gave us said that there were 48 chocolate chip cookies, 64 vanilla cookies, and 100 raisin cookies. If you were to stick all those cookies in one bag, you'd have 48 chocolate chips, 64 vanilla, and 100 raisin. If you were to divide those cookies up into 2 bags, you'd have half of 48, which is 24 chocolate chip cookies, half of 64, which is 32 vanilla cookies, and half of 100, which is 50 raisin cookies, and that's in 2 bags. 48 chocolate chip cookies divided by 4 bags would be 12, 64 vanilla cookies divided by 4 bags would be 16, and 100 raisin cookies divided by 4 bags would be 25. Diego can divide all of his cookies between 4 bags without having any left over. Number 3A. Find the product of 12 and 8. Finding the product means we have to multiply, so 12 times 8 equals 96, or the product of 12 and 8 is 96. B. Find the greatest common factor of 12 and 8. I've listed the factors of 12, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12, and I've listed the factors of 8, which are 1, 2, 4, and 8. The largest of those common factors, or the greatest common factor, is 4. So the greatest common factor of 12 and 8 is 4. C. Find the least common multiple of 12 and 8. I've listed the multiples of 12, 12, 24, 36, 48, and so on. And I've listed multiples of 8, 8, 16, 24, 32, and so on. The least common multiple of 12 and 8 is 24. as 24 is the smallest multiple that they have in common. D. Find the product of the greatest common factor and the least common multiple of 12 and 8. Remember, finding the product means multiply. So we're going to multiply the greatest common factor, which was 4, and the least common multiple, which was 24. So 4 times 24 is 96. E. What do you notice about the answers to question number 1, which was question A, and question number 4, which was question D? The product is the same for both question A and D. F. Choose 2 other numbers and repeat steps 1 through 5. Do you get the same results? The 2 numbers that I chose were 4 and 20, and the product of 4 and 20 is 80. The least common multiple for 4 and 20 is 4. The greatest common factor for number 4 and number 20 is 20. The product of 4 and 20 is 80. So yes, I got the same answers as I did before. The product of 4 and 20 is the same as the product of the greatest common factor of 4 and 20 and the least common multiple of 4 and 20. Number 4A. Given the points 5 and 5/10 and -7, name a second point so that the 2 points form a vertical segment. I drew a little vertical segment on the right-hand side of that sentence. The second set of points that would help form a vertical segment would be 5 and 5/10 and +7. Any set of coordinates would work as long as the first number in the set of coordinates was 5 and 5/10. B. Given the point 3 and 3 5/10, name a second point so that the 2 points form a horizontal segment. I drew an illustration of a horizontal segment. The set of coordinates -3 and 3 5/10 would form a horizontal segment along with 3 and 3 5/10. Number 5. Find the value of each expression mentally. A. 1/2 times 37 minus 1/2 times 7. You can use the distributive property. 1/2 times 37 minus 7. And that's the same as 1/2 times 30, or half of 30. And half of 30 is 15. B. 3 5/10 times 40 plus 3 5/10 times 60. You can use the distributive property here too. 3 5/10 times 40 plus 60, or 3 5/10 times 100. And 3 5/10 times 100 is 350, which is 100 times larger than 3 5/10. C. 999 times 5. 999 is almost 1,000, so we can call it 1,000 times 5. But then we need to subtract 5 for that 1 that we added, and that 1 was multiplied by a 5. So 1,000 times 5 minus 5. That would be 5,000 minus 5. And 5,000 minus 5 is 4,995. So 999 times 5 is 4,995. Congratulations, you have completed Unit 7, Lesson 18. Using common multiples and common factors.